Welcome to our channel. Today we're discussing the current state of the economy, exploring issues with commercial banks, the debt to GDP ratio, and the risks and benefits of alternative investments like Bitcoin. We'll also be discussing the need for financial education and the influence of Marxist ideology in our academic system. Let's dive into this important topic together. The current state of the economy is a concern for many people, including Marcus Co-op and Mark, who have witnessed its decline firsthand. The possibility of an economic depression followed by a revolution is looming, and the lessons learned about history's most infamous figures such as Marx, Lenin, Stalin, and Hitler now seem to be coming to life before our eyes. As a capitalist, the author is particularly troubled by the idea of abolishing private property, which is advocated by Marx. The centralization of private property in the lands of the state is a hallmark of communist ideology, which also calls for a command and control economy. Unfortunately, our academic system is heavily influenced by Marxism, and many teachers are unwittingly perpetuating Marxist ideas. As a capitalist, the author does not have a traditional job or paycheck, which sets them apart from those who were advised by their poor dad to seek safe and secure employment. However, the author notes that financial education is lacking in schools, leading many to hold onto weak dollars rather than borrowing money tax-free and investing it to make more money. While Dave Ramsey may advocate for living debt-free, the author believes that borrowing money and investing it wisely can lead to greater wealth. The author is frustrated by the fact that the Federal Reserve Bank, despite being the third central bank in American history, goes against the Founding Fathers' warnings about central banks. The removal of the dollar from the gold standard by Nixon in 1971, which is not commonly taught in schools, is also a concerning aspect of the current economic system. As a veteran and a member of a family that was once locked up in internment camps, the author is disheartened to admit that our system appears to be communist in nature. It is important to recognize the role that central banks play in a communist ideology and to understand the potential implications of such a system. To better understand these complex economic issues, it is necessary to delve deeper into the concepts and ideologies that underpin them. Marx's ideas about private property and the centralization of wealth in the hands of the state were revolutionary at the time they were written, but they have since been met with widespread criticism from capitalists and economists alike. The idea of a command and control economy where the government controls everything is anathema to capitalists who believe in the power of the free market. The centralization of power in the hands of the state is seen as a potential threat to individual freedoms and rights. Unfortunately, the current education system fails to provide adequate financial education, leading to a widespread lack of understanding about these issues. Many people hold on to weak dollars rather than borrowing money tax-free and investing it to make more money. Financial education is vital for understanding the potential risks and rewards associated with borrowing and investing. While Dave Ramsey may advocate for living debt-free, the author believes that borrowing money and investing it wisely can lead to greater wealth. It is important to recognize the role that central banks play in communist ideology and to understand the potential implications of such a system. The Federal Reserve Bank is an example of this communist ideology, being a central bank with no reserves in it. The Founding Fathers of the United States warned against the creation of central banks, yet the country now has its third central bank. The removal of the dollar from the gold standard by Nixon in 1971 is a concerning aspect of the current economic system. This decision effectively removed any restraint on the amount of money that could be printed, leading to a devaluation of the dollar over time. There is a common misconception that real estate and stocks are the only investment options. When I talk to most people, they claim to have a 401k, thinking it is a government-sponsored retirement plan. However, the Federal Reserve and Wall Street are the actual sponsors of the 401k. The 401k was created in 1974 through the Orissa Act, which was shortly after Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. The stock market boomed and people started in investing in stocks. However, as a capitalist, I invest my own money instead of buying stocks. The more money I borrow, the less tax I pay. Let's say I buy a commercial building for $1 million, and it goes up to $10 million. Most people would sell it, but the moment you sell it, you execute a capital event, which is a taxable event. I don't sell or flip it, but instead I borrow out $5 million tax-free. Currently, the economy is in a depression, which means it is operating at a suboptimal growth rate, and the GDP should be at 4% but is only operating at 2%. On September 17, 2019, there was a crash in the repo market. The average person does not understand the repo market, and the last time there was a crash was in 2008. Later, COVID-19 appeared, which was concerning as there was already a clash in the repo market. I call the repo market the pawn shop because it is where people go to borrow money. The Fed started pumping money into the commercial banks like Bank of America and Wells Fargo as they were empty. When Lehman Brothers went down, I did not have enough cash, and it did not go into the economy but stay within the banking system. What happened in 2021 was a reverse repo, where money started coming out of banks and going back to the Fed. It is essential to understand the history of investments, crashes, and depressions to make informed investment decisions. Stocks and real estate are not the only options for investment, and understanding the repo market and its impact on the economy is crucial. As a capitalist, I invest my own money instead of relying on stocks and borrow money tax-free to maximize my investment opportunities. Despite the intricacies of the financial world, it is vital to recognize the implications of recent issues with commercial banks not trusting their assets. The questionable valuation of assets such as houses or stocks is subjective and subject to fluctuation. Consequently, money is flowing back to the Federal Reserve as banks consider it a safer option than the marketplace. Unfortunately, the lack of financial education in our school system means that most people do not even know what the repo market is, unlike the wealthy elite who discuss these issues frequently. One way CEOs justify their exorbitant salaries is by repurchasing stocks. For example, a company like IBM or Ford may borrow $5 million from their treasury and purchase $6 million worth of their own stock with $1 million, artificially inflating the stock price and creating a false sense of value. However, the stock market's foundation is built on debt, which is not sustainable in the long run. A crucial indicator of the economy's state is the debt to gross domestic product, or GDP ratio, where a 90% ratio means that for every dollar borrowed, the economy grows by 10%. Unfortunately, the current debt to GDP ratio is 140%, signifying that the economy cannot grow any further, leading to a situation where the country is essentially bankrupt. While technical jargon may make it challenging to understand, the effects of student loan debt, consumer loan debt, and a stock market built on debt are felt by everyone. Moreover, the pandemic caused more significant financial stress. With lost jobs and the government printing more money to compensate, the average person may not comprehend the gravity of the situation, leading to a lack of appropriate action. In response to the economic instability, some people have turned to alternative investments such as Bitcoin. This decision is based on a lack of trust in the government, the Federal Reserve Bank, the Treasury, and even the stock market. While these alternative options may provide some level of security, it is crucial to understand the risks associated with each investment. Navigating the financial world can be challenging, especially given recent issues with commercial banks and the high debt to GDP ratio. It is vital to comprehend these concepts and their potential implications to make informed financial decisions. Although alternative investments like Bitcoin may seem like a solution, it is important to consider the risks and benefits carefully before investing. It is clear that there is a pressing need for financial education, and individuals must equip themselves with the necessary knowledge to navigate the constantly evolving economic landscape. By doing so, we can better prepare ourselves for the financial challenges of the future. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative content on current events and important topics. See you in the next video.